Hey everyone, welcome again for another workshop with Footprint Analytics, and this time we're with Bloom One. And today we're going to talk about NFT analytics, 7 essential metrics you should look at before going into any project. So these metrics will help give you a good idea of a project's overall health score, and if it's a good idea or if the project has any chance of making any money and being successful in the future. So with that being said, let's get started. So my name's Alex. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Canada, and I've been with Footprint now for about a year as a community and social media manager. So I started crypto about 2 years ago, just as a complete degen. And then I evolved into a beginner analyst and really got a passion for GameFi and NFTs. Once I started working with Footprint, I really got a big deep dive on the data, and I'm really happy I did. Really gave me a lot of um, insights and ways to approach different projects and the way to actually harness the on-chain data. And believe it or not, my biggest NFT bag that I hold is actually my Splinterlands collection. So moving forward here, I'll tell you a little bit about Footprint, and then we'll hop right into the workshop. So at Footprint, we have a ton of data. Just keep it at that. We got 24 chains across 700,000 with 700,000 NFT collections across 17 different marketplaces. We got 2,000 plus GameFi protocols, 519 DeFi, and we have 108,000 tokens. So if you look down here, you can see all the chains that we have, and then all the marketplaces we have as well. So at Footprint, we kind of have, now we have three different use cases. We have our front-end web app, which majority of the people listening here would really like. So that offers you access to all of our data and is your coding solution to harness that data with charts and dashboards. We also have an API if you want a bit more depth of the data. We have a SQL API and a REST API for devs and everyone to build on. So that's pretty sweet. Um, and I guess with that, that's a little enough about Footprint. Let's actually get into the meat and potatoes of this workshop. So, first, we'll just do a quick intro about what exactly NFTs are. So, we all know NFT is a non fungible token, right? They're unique to the blockchain with unique identification codes and metadata that distinguish them from each other, right? So, no NFT is exactly the same, right? And CryptoPunks being one of the most well-known NFTs because they kind of started the hype out back in 2021. And for a lot of NFTs, they're not just PFPs, right? So NFTs have adapted as time went on from being simply PFPs to offering real-world utility. An example I like to include in this is VFriends, where Gary V released an NFT collection, and if you bought one of the OGs, you actually got access to VCon or VFriends, which is VCons gave you or VFriends gave you access to VCon, which is pretty sweet. Being able to go to a conference for free where there's a ton of big name influencers and celebrities, that's kind of cool. That's bringing some real world utility. Um, and I also wanted to bring up some stats of NFTs in 2022 just to give you kind of all a perspective of the market. So the total sales of NFTs in 2022 was 55.5 billion, which is up 175% from 2021. And roughly 85,000 NFT collections were launched last year in 2021. There's only about 14.5K. So you can see a huge increase in the amount of collections released. And this one actually, this fact blows my mind, right? Only 2,623 collections have more than 1,000 unique buyers, right? So, we're seeing collections get dropped with 10,000, 20,000, even some on the lower side, like 5,000. It's crazy. Um, excuse me. How just little collections get over 1,000 unique buyers. It kind of blew my mind. And last year, trading volume actually peaked in January with $17.4 billion in value. That was kind of just the heart of the bull market where everybody was releasing collections and everyone was making money. So it makes sense there was high trading volume. And only about of those 85 K collections, only about 700,700 had trading volume over 100K. So if we look at that, that's about less than well, there's less than 10% there actually had trading volume over 100K. So that just shows you how many collections really kind of fall behind if they're not noticed right away. So some common use cases for NFTs, of course, Web3 gaming and NFTs, those go together like PB&J, right? So that's those in-game assets, collectibles. We're seeing a lot more collectibles get released, like the Binance that Cristiano Ronaldo collectible. Wax has the William Shatner collectible NFT collection, right? We're also seeing music being brought to NFTs, which I quite like. I'm all about bringing power back to the artists and away from the publishing companies, which NFTs really do. And then we see some real asset-backed NFTs as well. Uh, Believe it or not, I was on a Twitter space with a protocol, and I saw some NFTs that were backed by real horses. I'm talking horse racing NFTs, and every NFT had one horse behind them, and you could, the utility was you could help pay or advertise on the horse. It was really cool. It was pretty sweet. I mean, it's the first time I've ever seen horses being brought on chain. Uh, it's kind of cool. So next, we're going to talk about actually 7 metrics to check for NFTs. When you check in with these 7 metrics here, you will get a good idea and a good overview of a project before you dive in fully. So the number one metric is always going to be trading volume, right? And why is trading volume number one? Well, because when we're looking at trending collections on OpenSea, X2Y2, Elements, Blur, all these different marketplaces, it's pretty obvious that even though we don't know their algorithm exactly, it's pretty obvious that trading volume is one of the most heavily weighted metrics to make your collection trending. And trading volume gives exposure. Exposure gives NFTs a life cycle, right? So right now, one of the hardest parts as a collection owner is actually getting noticed and have people buy your collection, right? We just seen that stat. Not very many collections had over 1,000 unique buyers. So, but we can help get more unique buyers by having high trading volume. So it's definitely something to look at. Um, the other one that's really, really important is actually taking a peek at the transactions themselves, the buyers and the sellers, right? So user transactions can bring great insights to the health of the collection, right? If there are more sellers than buyers, a collection will actually fall in price, right? If there's more buyers than sellers, then the floor price will go up, right? And then tracking the amount of times an NFT has been sold within a certain time frame is also crucial for seeing if the collection is being used for wash trading or not, right? One of the biggest struggles in the NFT market is that NFTs aren't liquid, right? You can't just sell an NFT and have it be sold like this, right? It takes some time, right? We have to find a buyer that is willing to buy it. And generally, like for this metric, let's say more than 3 times in an hour, who is buying the same NFT more than 3 times in the hour unless unless it has been floored, right? You don't see that very often. It's a little bit malicious, right? Just like saying if the guy has bought the same NFT after selling it again, why would you do that? That makes no unless they floored it and you're making more money. There makes no sense for you to buy back an NFT you just sold. So, and what does that indicate? It indicates wash trading. So, there's two good reasons to take a look at transactions here for monitoring buyers and sellers, right? We want to see how many buyers and sellers there are, right? How healthy the the overall transaction ecosystem is, and then of course we want to be able to take a peek at the transactions to see if there's any wash trading going on, right? Because flooded volume is no good, right? So the third metric I want to talk about is market cap. after wash trade filters, right? So market cap is the key metric to measure cryptocurrency or NFT collection size and value. So by tracking market cap, investors can ascertain whether or not an NFT collection is undervalued and determine whether or not investing is a wise decision, right? I use the example of the Bored Ape Yacht Club here. This is the most classic blue chip collection, and also has the highest market cap of any other NFT, right? And chances are, for the most part, if you're holding a Bored Ape, you're probably going to be doing pretty good, right? If you can afford a Bored Ape and you get it at a good price, and you're not wash trading it on Blur, it's overall a relatively safe investment. The market cap is high, and once you sell it, there's probably going to be someone else that wants to buy it. So the fourth metric that I want to talk about, this goes into investment and actually about team as well, right? Who is backing the project? Do they have a good VC behind them? Do they have some good partnerships with some real utility coming out? And with this one, I also like to talk about if the project is doxed, right? Who are the founders? Who is the team behind the project? It is more likely that a project will not rug you if the project founders have their names on it and their pictures. And right, and especially now in 2023 after the 2022 rug pull scandal, is more important than ever to look at a project's white paper, right? And when we're looking at this white paper, one of the first things we should look at is how the heck are they going to be able to provide the utility that they are offering the community, right? If they're offering everybody fat parties on a yacht in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, but their total trading volume is less than $10,000, I don't think that's going to happen, and it's going to be a rug, right? Or they don't have the backing behind them to make this happen, or the sponsorships or whatever. It's like, how the heck am I going to get on this yacht? You're just going to take my money and run, and then I'm going to be stuck with whatever this art is on this NFT that I didn't buy because of the art. I bought it because of the utility, right? And then I pulled up some of the marketplaces here. I put up OpenSea because OpenSea generally has the best standards for NFT collections, right? If you're being wash traded or you're doing some sketchy stuff, OpenSea will take away your check just like that. And then we have LooksRare. I included this because on this marketplace, a lot of collections are being traded just for farming tokens. So it's very, very important to see where these collections are being traded as well, to make sure that they're not being traded for token farming. And then I also included Animoca Brands because they were the most successful Web3 gaming VC, in my opinion. Closed 62 rounds last year. So chances are, if you have a big VC like Animoca or someone else behind you, your project is probably going to, or the project is probably going to do pretty well, right? They have a reputation to uphold. All right, so our fifth metric I like to talk about is social engagement. So social numbers and interactions, right? So it's all about the ratio, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Ratioing a community's followers to engagement rate is a great way to determine if a community is active as it portrays. For example, I did this example. They got 18.3K followers, and they're doing giveaway tweets and only getting about 4 likes and 4 retweets. That's a little bit suspect to me. Another thing that's suspect is seeing if an NFT or a collection Discord has, say, 10,000 members, but you're getting like 2 to 5 messages a day in the Discord. It's a little bit weird, especially for NFTs where communities are really everything, and community is going to be the base layer, the base standard now of utility. Not having one is going to let you fall behind, and also shows that, I want organic communities in my NFTs collections that I want to get into, right? The stronger the community, the stronger, the more trust I have in the project. And if there's none to be found, doesn't make me feel confident, and it makes me feel like I'm going to get rugged. So also a great metric to take a peek at there. Um, And then our sixth metric, I'm going to just briefly touch on this because this is a whole workshop on itself, which is going to talk about wash trading. Wash trading is a very prevalent um, fact of life, fact of the NFT life and ecosystem. I mean, especially after Blur dropped. I mean, we have X2Y2 and LooksRare, but according to our data, 42.9, so let's say 43% of all volume on NFT volume on Ethereum last year was wash traded. But another good stat to look at that with is 98% of the NFT transactions on Ethereum were legitimate. So it's really just a small amount of people that are making the majority of the volume. But it is something that we need to be aware of because fake volume is bad for business, bad for my investing, bad for my wallet. So this is some of the metrics that we use at Footprint because when you look at NFT volume, this is automatically filtered out. We automatically add these filters in to give you guys the most accurate trading volume data without that wash trade in there. So we have so I'm going to identify wash trading for token farming and just general wash trading. So for token farming, is overpriced NFT trades, so about 10 times OpenSea price average, and then you're also going to see collections with 0% royalties, except for CryptoPunks and ENS. And then three and four, this is if a specific NFT in the collection has been bought more than a normal amount of times in a day, or if it's been bought by the same buyer address in a short period of time. Now, for general wash trading, we change up that number one from overpriced NFT trades to more consistent price trades. Excuse me. But now moving forward, I'd also want to show you guys some of the top wash traded collections that are out there right now. If you're listening and you have a Terraform, I'm super sorry. I'm super sorry to provide this data for you, but 99.8% of the volume has been wash traded, which is no good. Also, we'll see with the blue chips, one of the forms of wash trading is harvesting tax losses, which Mutant Ape Yacht Club is really good at doing. Azuki is really good, really known for, and Clonex. Those are the top three wash traded collections for harvesting tax losses, which I can go into another time. And of course, the final metric for today that I wanted to talk about is marketplaces and chains. Analyzing a collection's preferred chain and marketplace. This is especially um, relevant now that Blur with their airdrop um, rewards for transactions has become a thing. It's not a lot of collections are safe from the Blur FUD that is their volume. So it's very important to see what marketplaces that these collections are being traded on to give you a real overview of the trading volume. Not just this volume isn't just being made for farming tokens, right? And then it's also important to look at the preferred chain, right? If a collection is releasing on Ethereum and they're a $10 NFT, why the heck are you releasing on Ethereum? It's going to cost me more in gas fees to mint the thing, or to transfer it to, than it is even worth, right? So I mean, so for looking at a project like that, chances are they're not going to survive just because the gas fees are going to kill them. Unless the art is that cool, it's pretty weird. Why would you release on say Polygon or BNB for example, right? And also, it's important to look at the chains as well as a project because I want to see where the buyers are. Um, I mean, with aggregators now, that makes this less of a problem, but still, releasing your collection on the right chain is also quite important. And with that, you guys, I'm bringing it to the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, now is the time, and I will answer them the best I got, or the best I can. And in the meantime, oh, Deborah, do you have a question?
Yes, yes, I do. Thank you so much, Alex, for the workshop, and I've learned so much actually. And so my question might be a little outside, well, not necessarily outside the topic. So you've really broken down NFT analytics from a collector's um, standpoint. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking this also for the sake of NFT creators, artists, communities who are looking to get into NFTs, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So, what should creators also look out for when creating their NFTs? So, you talked about how to pay attention to VCs or investors that are backing a certain project. So, as an NFT collector, how do I go about securing the right VCs, or even as little as pricing my NFTs, for instance, or what chain to go on. So if you
Mm-hmm.
could just, I mean, this is probably going to be a totally different workshop, right? But if you
Well,
could just
I
a,
can
a
clarify a
little,
little bit here. I mean, the most part, I think the most important part as an NFT collection here, if you want VCs, is to have a real goal, with what you're trying to accomplish here. I mean, or even getting grants. For example, if you're releasing, say, a sustainable project, right, where we're giving back carbon credits or something like this, it might be really good to look at the Cello chain to release your collection on because they're all about sustainable and regenerative projects in their ecosystem. So also into not just having a goal is important, but figuring out how we're going to resonate with the community and make the community feel rewarded. Because at the end of the day, the community is what's going to be driving your profits, and it's what's the VCs are going to be wanting to see, right? They want to see good, solid community before you even ask for money. They want to see the goal, and they want to see people already backing you to begin with. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by I guess the way we get community members is having people believe in you, but how do we get people to believe in you? By having a solid goal that is achievable and is beneficial for everyone. And then, like I said, looking at the chains too really just depends on your goal and what you're looking for. I think a lot of people got scared of hopping right into NFTs after the 2023 kind of fiasco or 2022 fiasco of just there being tons of projects running, no real utility made a lot of people wary. So it's getting a bit better now. We're seeing a lot more use cases and a lot more um, real world utility coming out with you NFTs, which is nice. But again, I guess as a creator, like I said, bringing it right back, is you got to have your goal. You got to make sure your goal is attainable without minting, without selling out your collection. And you just got to really have some people backing you that can trust you. And then also, I guess one last thing I gotta say as a collection to the collection owners is have some morals, man. Don't rug out on your boys. The last thing we need is more people flooding the system and making everyone more skeptical than they already are. So, Deborah, I hope that answers your question.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Alex.
Right? And I mean, and two, at the end of the day, if you're an artist with a local community behind you, you don't have to have utility. Its utility itself can just be the
Mm,
art, right? You don't even have to have a goal. If you're an artist who wants to share their art with the world, that is fair enough, right? Um, just you just got to make sure that the art that you're creating, you got to be aware that sometimes it might not resonate with people. But what's really cool and what does resonate with people is the story behind the art. So I definitely recommend if you want to release just a project based on your artistic creativity, really sell a story with that art as well. Why are you making these NFTs? What is your goal behind it, and what's your passion? And that itself is also a form of utility. Is there any other
absolutely.
questions?
No, none from me. Thank you, Alex.
Great, 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 great. Okay, so with this, I kind of want to show you guys just a quick little demo of how to use Footprint to make your NFT insights. So I want to start first by just showing you our website and our analytics page. Why did I want to show you this? Because this gives you all of our NFT dashboards that people have already made. So you guys can check these out. Some of our most popular um, dashboards or dashboards that are hot. Or you can search by views, which actually give you the most popular dashboards. Or again, we can organize by date to show you the newest dashboards. I like to do by date because I've seen everything, but you can see we have a ton of new NFT dashboards coming out here. Also, if you guys go to our Learn, to our blogs, you can actually see all of our articles that we've written or our reports that we've done. So, for example, this Understanding and Detecting Wash Trading report that we did with Crypto EQ, that report is sick. If you like this workshop, you're going to love this report. But anyways, that's enough about that. Let me show you actually how to go and create charts. So first thing we do is we create an account, and then we go right to new chart. When you get to new chart, you can see all of our data on the left side here. I'm going to scroll down until we get to NFT. And let's see what we have here. We have Marketplace Collection Daily Stats, NFT Collection Daily Stats, and this shows you exactly what you can find in each category. So let's go to NFT Collection Daily Stats. Now, if you guys are confused on what exactly the category has, just look at the top here. This tells you every single piece of data that you can filter and get insights on in this category here. So let's just do a simple market cap chart. Let's do a market cap chart on CryptoPunks. Easy. Let's make it easy. So, believe it or not, you guys, the first thing to do is you go straight to advanced. That's the easiest way to do it. Filter it by collection slug. Let's do CryptoPunks. There it is. Add filter. So now that we have it filtered, we want to summarize it. So we summarize it by the sum of, where it is, market cap by day, visualize, and we have the market cap by day. Truthfully, this is not my favorite way to display this chart. I would prefer it as a trend graph, but there's a lot of different ways we can do this. We can also go to bar, or we can go do a table. Really just depends on what you guys like, right? That's the beauty of it being super customizable. So I guess let's just do a line just to show you a bit of a display, and the axes that we can change this up here. On the actual display, I can add goal lines if I'd like. So let's say the goal line is $1 million. There you go. I can add that. I can get the date, and I can also change it to color if I'd like. So with that being said, I'll be done. I'll save it. I will do crypto punks market cap. Save it. Add to dashboard. We're going to create a new dashboard, and we're going to call it CryptoPunks. So let's edit the dashboard. Let's add my chart that I just made here. And what's really cool is, let's say someone else in the community made a CryptoPunks chart. CryptoPunks. So buyers and traders of CryptoPunks. Let's add that. Let's see if this data is still good. No, it looks like it's not. Remove. Let's do CryptoPunks floor price. So there, yeah, I can just take other people's charts that they've already made because at the end of the day, the data is the same. They're grabbing it from the same spot. So we can, it's the exact same that we'll get from other people's collections, right? So we have the floor price. Let's see. Versus number of daily. Let's see if we can do this one. Oh, wow. Great. So yeah, I've already added 3 charts to my dashboard and it took me under 5 minutes to do, which is really cool. We can also add text boxes, images, and videos. And you can really just customize it to however you'd like it. So let's save my dashboard, bada bing, bada boom, and then I want to show you an example dashboard of what I made without any coding because I can't code. So show you guys just quickly. I made this Dogecoin dashboard. I added the memes or the picture box here. You can see I added the text box with the links, the price, all this sort of stuff. My goal lines. Even made it yellow to match the dog. But so this just gives you an example of like the full scale of the customizability of the dashboards and really what you can make there. So I guess with that being said, you guys, I am I am I'm done. I am done our workshop today. So, Deborah, I'd like to thank you very much for hosting me today with Bloom One. I really had a nice time. And if you guys have any other questions now, I'll take them while you got me.
Thank you so much, Alex. That was a very insightful presentation. Thank you. As, especially for me. I mean, it's my first time actually experiencing the footprint analytics dashboard. And I think it's just really amazing. So I think what we could do is also probably put out a couple cutouts of the session just to make sure that we're able to spread the word as much as possible beyond this workshop. And I just wanted to say again that we really appreciate this training. It was very insightful. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what I'll do, Deborah? I'll make a custom invite link for the Bloom One community so that anybody that missed this, if they'd like to try Footprint out, they can sign up with the custom link and they get a 7-day free trial of our business account. And that way you guys can get access um, to the full capabilities of our product for a week. So I think that would be nice as a little thank you to the community for hosting us. I'd get something like that set up for you guys.
That would be amazing. Thank you. Really appreciate that, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, it's no problem. And yeah, with that being said, I want to thank you one more time, Deborah, and I guess we'll see you next time.